One of the games I'm going to pick is that Mississippi State, Kentucky. I'm going to tell you something. That's going to be.
Yep.
You think it's going to be a close game?
Ready to go. Hey, great games around the league today in the SEC. We're going to try to touch on a couple of those real quick. The Georgia Bulldogs now up to number 2 in the AP poll. They've jumped Clemson. They go to Columbia, Missouri. I've been to that airport, guys. There's bus stations that are far more luxurious. But Georgia's going to go out in the middle of nowhere and play at Fair Oak Field. And Missouri has shown the capacity to score some points, but give up some 14.5. What do you think?
I'm going to take Georgia here. I think Georgia is just a better team. Missouri, Drew Lock, and this offense have the capability of putting up huge numbers, and Georgia does have some questions on their defensive side of the ball. But in the trenches, they are 340, 350, 340. This is a monster of a team. They are clearly the second best team in the country. I think they win this game 33-14. Not a game I would bet, but if I was betting it, I like the Georgia Bulldogs here.
How do you see it, Herb?
Well, I know one thing. The legend's got a lot of chalk on his mouth. You know what I mean? He's a chalk player.
He likes giving those.
I give the money away, Kim. Give the money away.
Well, I'm saying he likes those chalks pretty good. I wouldn't go that far. I think that might be a little bit too much. Missouri's awfully good at home. Drew Lock, arguably. I've got 3 quarterbacks I love in the league. Started with Tua being the number 1 choice right now. He's number 2, maybe 1A, if you will, any way you want to look at it. But Drew Lock will be able to keep in this game. Georgia's due for a little bit of a letdown, although I agree Kirby Smart's doing a great job. And, again, it's all about recruiting, and he knows how to do it.
That's for sure. Other interesting games today. I'll throw the 3 out that we've got on our board here, and you guys can comment on which one you like. Mississippi State at Kentucky. Compelling matchup, 10-point line. You've got Vandy coming back home now after their good effort at Notre Dame. South Carolina hadn't played in 2 weeks. They're a 2-point favorite in Nashville. That's an interesting matchup. And the other one, the big game in the East, well, maybe not so much anymore. Maybe the big game for the bottom dweller of the East. Florida and Tennessee's lost a lot of its luster, but it's still a big rivalry game.
Well, I will tell you, you just picked the 2 teams. Can I get them out of the way?
Get
My
'em
2
out.
picks?
Do it, Kurt.
Kentucky and Mississippi State. I'm going to tell you what I like in that game. It makes me nervous, though. The line went from the total being 54 to 55.5. But somebody has found out, even though Kentucky is holding its opponents to an average of 15 points a game, that's very misleading simply because that was against Central Michigan, which is the lowest team on the rung in the MAC Conference. And the other was a win over FCS Murray State. They shut them out. They held Florida to 16. They won there on the road. Look, they got confidence now. Kentucky's going to play better. I think their young quarterback, Terry Wilson's starting to come on now, the JUCO transfer, and certainly, arguably, I think one of the 2 best running backs in the league next to the Harris kid at Alabama, and that's the kid that I love, Benny Snell, at Kentucky. Now, on the other side, I love Nick Fitzgerald. I think that's where you win in this league with a great quarterback. He is great. I want to tell you something. Put all that aside about it being a low-scoring game. I'm going to say it's going to wind up in the 30s. So my first lock of the day, or win cinch, if you will, I'm going to take the Kentucky-Mississippi State game at over 54, but I think it's gone to 55. It's still safe.
That's great. Legend, which ones jumps out at you?
Well, I think Tennessee wins this game head up. I'm going to surprise her here and go against the chalk, but I like Tennessee to win this game head up. This is not as bad as Tennessee team as we has thought. They have 2 outstanding wide receivers in Jennings and Callaway, and a quarterback that is maturing. I like what's going on down in Tennessee, what I seen last week. I think they beat the Gators head up, take the points, take it head up on the money line, but also get those points if you don't believe me. Tennessee in the upset Saturday.
Wow, the legend and I are on the same page. That was my other lock.
Oh, okay.
I like Tennessee at home because Florida has trouble against the spread, which now people refer to as the RPO, the run-pass option.
There you go.
They've always had trouble. Plus, a little-known fact, since 2016, you know what Florida's record is on the road.
It's not very good.
It's 1-6 against the spread.
Wow.
I say buy it up to 5, take the +5, and get on some Tennessee. I think the balls will roll in Knoxville today.
Back with more right after this.